Just days away from January 20th, and cold weather forces some big changes for Inauguration Day in D.C.
Is your vehicle ready for what's ahead in the next few days? The experts offer the do's and don'ts for your car when it's this cold.
And the Supreme Court clears the way for a ban on the popular app TikTok, what it means by Sunday, and how the new president might change things. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us at 5, everybody. Nice day today, unseasonably warm. I think we got up to 57 here in Madison, but things are about to change. Alex Harrington is out on the weather patio, and it starts in just a couple hours, right, Alex?
That's right. We're talking hours, not talking days now, before this polar grip just sweeps in and takes over southern Wisconsin. I don't need this jacket out right now. It's kind of more of a, hey, heads up prop for what's on the way to southern Wisconsin. Just look at our current watches and warnings. We have extreme cold warnings, cold weather advisories for much of the upper Midwest, waiting to see the National Weather Service in Milwaukee update those advisories, likely including the rest of southern Wisconsin, if not tonight, most certainly by tomorrow. And this is going to take us through a stretch of cold weather that's going to really start tomorrow with this polar cold front right now on radar 3000. A few sprinkles to the north of Madison, a couple flurries north towards the Viroqua area, and that cold front's going to sweep across the rest of southern Wisconsin. Just take a look at this here. A few flurries, a few sprinkles, rather benign, but then the temperatures are really going to start to take a plunge. We've extended that alert day time frame from Saturday night to Tuesday for wind chills of minus 25 to minus 30. And coming up in Maine weather, I'm going to talk about when we could see wind chills as cold as minus 35 below zero. And that's just in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Alex, thank you. With the temperatures about to bottom out in the next few days, now is the time to start preparing. And when it comes to keeping your car, well, keep the tank at least half full when it's this cold. Many of us also like to warm our cars up before driving it, but experts say that's actually bad for your vehicle. Luke Whetstone with Badger City Auto says there's no need to let your car sit for more than a minute when it's cold.
Let it only run for maybe about a minute and then warm it up by driving it. When the car is idle, the oil's not properly lubricating everything, and honestly, it lubricates the best by driving it a little bit. So, honestly, the best way would be to start your car, let it run for 30 seconds, a minute, and then drive it to warm it up.
Aside from taking care of your engine, Whetstone suggests making sure you have a strong battery. You can test it when bringing your car in for an oil change, or at most auto parts stores. You can also make sure you have those good wiper blades and proper windshield wiper fluid that works in these extreme temperatures.
The Adams Friendship School District has canceled all in-person classes and after-school activities today. It's not because of the weather, it's due to the spread of illness. In a post on Facebook, the district says it monitors attendance and sicknesses each day, and they determined that it would prevent a further spread of people getting sick by canceling today. District Administrator Thomas Wormuth says the decision is the best course of action to address the immediate need for appropriate staffing and to ensure quality learning.
Even the best laid inauguration plans are subject to change.
Nicole Skanga is in Washington, D.C. with the decision to move Monday's inauguration ceremony indoors.
The stage had been set outside of the Capitol for the swearing-in of President-elect Donald Trump, but the chairs will be moved indoors for a ceremony in the Capitol Rotunda Monday. Trump announced the change of plans on social media, citing the frigid weather headed for Washington. He also noted the same thing happened to President Ronald Reagan.
The office of President of the United States.
Reagan's second swearing-in was held in the Rotunda on January 21st, 1985. Some ticket holders are disappointed.
I definitely would have bared the cold, and we came prepared. We packed thermals and we packed our warmest jackets.
Security is beefed up around Washington. Friday, U.S. airmen rehearsed a street cordon at Joint Base Andrews, though the presidential parade has been moved indoors to the Capital One Arena. The U.S. Secret Service says it's adapting its security plans for the changes, and President-elect Trump says he intends to join his supporters at the arena following his swearing-in.
My eternal thanks to you, the American people.
President Biden has already said his farewell, and the White House says it has been working closely with the incoming administration.
He made a commitment that he wanted to see a peaceful transfer of power.
It is not known if President Biden will observe the tradition Reagan started and leave his successor a letter.
This will mark the first time that a president who has received a letter from an outgoing president may well be writing a letter to the same person who's the incoming president.
This is President-elect Trump's last full day at Mar-a-Lago before he heads to D.C. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Washington.
And Reverend Franklin Graham said on X that he is going to give the invocation at Donald Trump's inauguration.
A group of Wisconsinites is heading to D.C. for the inauguration. It includes State Republican Party Chairman Brian Schimming. He's meeting with some of his national Republican colleagues there ahead of Monday's inauguration. We spoke with him about what to expect from a new Trump administration for people watching back here in Wisconsin.
You know, I think there's a lot of emphasis on getting off to a fast start. No doubt about that in my mind whatsoever. People want action quickly. I mean, we've had kind of previews from Trump administration folks, not on specifics, but just reinforcing the fact that they want to get off to a fast start on Monday.
And you can hear more from Brian Schimming this Sunday. He's Will Keneally's guest on For the Record at 10:30.
In his final days in office, President Joe Biden has granted clemency for nearly 2,500 nonviolent drug offenders. The president said in a statement today his decision provides relief for federal prisoners who receive lengthy sentences compared to how they would be sentenced today under current law. In 2021, the Biden administration became a vocal advocate for reforming the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986. President Biden has also commuted the sentence of his son Hunter and 1,500 others on house arrest due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Along with 37 people on death row, he changed those sentences to life in prison.
A man is safe after being rescued on an ATV that fell through the ice. Madison Fire's Lake Rescue Team says it was called to Lake Mendota near Picnic Point for a vehicle that broke through the ice. Luckily, the flotation device worked on the ATV and they were able to pull the driver back to shore. The man was uninjured and the Dane County Sheriff's Office later retrieved the ATV.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court has rejected a conservative activist bid to access guardianship records to identify ineligible voters. But that case could return. In a 5-2 decision, the court ruled that a lower appeals court did not follow proper procedure when overturning a circuit court's denial. The Wisconsin Voter Alliance sought the records to compare them to voter rolls, alleging discrepancies. The ruling sends the case back to the appeals court for further action.
The Supreme Court has cleared the way for a ban on TikTok in the United States, which is set to take effect on Sunday. However, that does not necessarily mean users will be blocked from accessing the app in 2 days' time.
Enforcement of the ban will then fall to President-elect Donald Trump, who takes office one day after the ban goes into effect. Erica Brown in Washington, D.C. has more details.
Supreme Court justices ruled a law labeling TikTok as a national security risk does not violate the First Amendment rights of its users. In the ruling, justices said TikTok has special characteristics, a foreign adversary's ability to leverage its control over the platform to collect vast amounts of personal data from 170 million U.S. users that justify this differential treatment.
The Supreme Court has rightly decided to uphold the requirement that TikTok be sold.
The law gave TikTok's parent company ByteDance until January 19th to sell off the social media site or be banned. TikTok users have flocked to the platform expressing outrage.
TikTok is getting banned officially.
Do you guys not realize the impact that this will have on the economy?
And to the U.S. government, I'm never forgiving you for this.
The app is unlikely to go dark on Sunday. Instead, the government is expected to order app stores to remove it, meaning new users will not be able to sign up. The action is viewed as a delay tactic to give the incoming Trump administration time to decide how to proceed.
When he comes into office, he needs to have his whole national security team, as well as his legal team, the Department of Justice, develop a strategy to ensure that our data is safe, our privacy is secure across all threats.
Trump filed a brief with the court in December, urging the justices to temporarily pause the law.
The irony in all this was Donald Trump was the first guy to point out this problem. Matter of fact, his administration had to convince me. They did a great job of convincing me and the overwhelming members of Congress.
The president-elect said he spoke with China's Xi Jinping today about a host of issues, including TikTok. TikTok CEO Shou Zishu has been invited to attend Trump's inauguration Monday. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
And President-elect Trump released a statement on social media saying his decision on TikTok will be made in the, quote, not too distant future, but asked for time to review the situation.
Well, yesterday marked 1 month since the deadly shooting at Abundant Life Christian School, killing 2 and injuring several others.
Dane County continues to come together and support the school. Our Tanasia Shaw is live this afternoon at the Chocolate Shop Ice Cream Company. Tanasia, they're hosting a fundraiser for ALCS this weekend.
Yes, this ice cream shop here on the west side on Midvale Street is hosting a fundraiser today. And like we said earlier when we heard our weather report, it feels very nice outside today. There's customers in right now, and I've been here for about 2 hours. Customers in and out here for the ice cream. And I'm going to let you get a look at this ice cream right here. So many flavors that everyone across Dane County knows and loves. And even though today is warm, you know, it's supposed to get cold after this, there's still a reason to come out here and support local businesses and support everyone at ALCS. I'm here with Caleb Lawrence. He's a GM of this location. So Caleb, tell us about this fundraiser that's happening Sunday.
Yeah, so Sunday you will be able to visit any of the 9 chocolate shops in the Madison area. We'll be running a fundraiser for the ALCS tragedy that happened a few weeks ago.
Okay, so what can they buy?
Yeah, so anything in the store is comparable, and we'll be donating 50% to the United Way of Dane County's Abundant Life Christian School Emergency and Recovery Fund.
And tell me, why is this important? We were talking earlier, and you said last year y'all donated to over, I think, 100 organizations and sponsored things like this. So why?
It's very important for Chocolate Shop as a company to be involved in our community, and this is just another thing that we are able to do to make sure that we are looking out for our community and unifying as much as we can in these hard times.
Exactly. We know that Dane County loves to come together, so this is an excuse maybe to, you know, have a little cheat meal Sunday and support a really important cause. So Caleb, thank you. We will be here Sunday. It will be here Sunday. So, reporting in Madison, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
All right, Tanasia, Caleb, thank you so much. A great cause.
Thanks to everyone.
And it's never too cold for ice cream.
That's right.
Especially for a good cause. Tanasia, thank you. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington rejoins us next as we brace ourselves for these very cold conditions coming.
And if you thought inflation overall was high, homeowners insurance costs are going up much faster than inflation. We'll have that story coming up.
Strong close of the week for the markets. The Dow up 335 points. NASDAQ climbs 292. S&P 500 adds 59. And we'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Police in Madison say they are investigating after a vehicle was shot multiple times on the Beltline early today. Around 1 this morning near Gammon Road, a vehicle was heading east when it was hit. No one was inside the car was hurt. Police closed the Beltline for at least a half an hour to investigate, but there have not been any arrests made yet.
2 people are displaced after an electrical malfunction in a junction box that caught their home on fire. The Madison Fire Department responded yesterday morning around 9 9 to Temkin Avenue. That's in the Spring Harbor area. When crews arrived, they saw light smoke coming from the eaves of the home and the roof and found fire behind a wall on the second floor. The fire caused about $50,000 in damage to the home.
A new report says insurance costs are rising rapidly for many homeowners. Data released by the Treasury Department yesterday shows that homeowners' insurance costs increased 9% faster than overall inflation from 2018 to 2020. The spike has been attributed to extreme weather events like hurricanes and fires. According to the report, 20% of homes in zip codes judged to be at the greatest risk for extreme weather paid an average of more than $2,300 a year in premiums.
Full look now at your First Warn forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington talking about the chilly weather coming our way, Alex.
Yep, speaking of chilly, look at all of these cold weather bulletins, or headlines as they are called, across much of the upper Midwest. Normally I focus right on southern Wisconsin, but this is where our weather's coming from. It's from the northwest to the southeast, where we have extreme cold warnings and cold weather advisories waiting for the National Weather Service to eventually very likely spread that cold weather advisory to the east and include the Madison area. At 6, I'm going to explain what is the differences between the new wordings for these weather headlines. Join us at 6. I'll get into that explanation. But let's add here Saturday to alert day conditions. Looking at wind chill values as cold as -25 for areas north and west of Madison as early as Saturday night, with the peak of the cold air on Tuesday. We're going to see those wind chills in just a moment. That polar cold front will be coming through right around our 10 o'clock newscast. Won't be surprised. I'll be out on the patio if we have a few flurries or a couple of sprinkles, but it's largely going to come through dry. What is not going to come through with this cold front here is any warm weather, right? This cold weather is really going to be moving in by the time we get past 10 o'clock, just that tiny chance of a wintry mix, and there's no way out of the cold air. Current temperatures, we made it up to 50 degrees here in Madison, still at 45, and there's that cold front right off to the west, off towards Decorah, La Crosse, up towards Black River Falls, and it will be sweeping through this evening and getting colder and colder as we go into Saturday, starting off in the teens. That's not too bad. That's normal for this time of year, but look at Saturday afternoon. We stay in the teens as that cold air infiltrates into southern Wisconsin, keeping us from warming up. Then we're in the single digits below zero for the actual air temperature Sunday morning. Going to Monday, or Sunday afternoon rather, we struggle to get above zero. Monday morning, -5 to -10 was what the thermometers are going to read. Then as we go into Tuesday morning, -10, some localized areas could get to -15. That's the actual air temperature. Then as we look at those wind chills, I just mentioned -25 below zero. Saturday night going into Sunday morning, -25 to approaching -30 to the north up towards Camp Douglas, Marquette, and Green Lake counties on Monday morning. And then Tuesday morning, when folks go back to school or work post the holiday on Monday, some places here off towards the north and towards the east of Madison could be approaching -35. That would be extreme cold warning criteria. Again, I'm going to go over those criterias again at 6 o'clock. So no way of getting out of our alert days here. Now adding Saturday clear through Tuesday. We may have to add alert day conditions as well for Wednesday morning, since the morning temperatures will be -2 and it'll start to turn breezy. The breezy conditions are going to try to get us back up to resembling something like normal as we head later next week going on into the following weekend. And unbelievable. Here's a picture from Arena. Rock sends us this picture. It got to 50 there too. Just scan the QR code. We'd love to see your pictures, but only when it's safe. We don't want you going out in this dangerous cold taking pictures, but we do appreciate them. Bit of traffic here right now, eastbound, westbound. Things are going at the decent clip, what you would expect, about 60 miles per hour, about 70 miles per hour down by Janesville and swinging up to the northwest where that cold front is approaching right now. 70-mile-per-hour speed limits being currently reported, and certainly all weekend going on right into next week. The heaters and anything to keep you warm in your car, you're going to want to have all of that ready to rock and roll.
All right, thank you, Alex. Just ahead, the winds die down for now in Southern California, but the threat continues. The latest from Los Angeles next.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
More than 170,000 people remain under evacuation notices after the LA wildfires. Fire weather conditions have paused for now, but officials warn another round of dangerously strong winds could be on the way.
And while there has been little to no fire growth in recent days, crews are still working to get the deadly blazes fully contained. Reporter Michael Yoshida has more.
11 days into the fight against Los Angeles wildfires, the uncertainty of what comes next remains.
I'm very empathetic to anyone who wants to get back to their property. It's going to be a while. It's not going to be in 3 or 4 days. I'm going to say at minimum, at least another week.
Officials say there are still multiple challenges that must be faced before fire-ravaged areas are safe.
The U.S. EPA has been tasked by FEMA to conduct Phase 1 household hazardous materials removal in the burn footprint.
The wildfires not only leaving behind hazards and destroyed property, but have also led to the danger of isolated landslides along the many slopes in the Pacific Palisades. Angelino's also facing threats from those who may be trying to take advantage of vulnerable disaster victims, something officials say they won't stand for.
Be it landlords, short-term rentals, or hotels, price gouging evacuees, or predatory buyers swooping in with low-ball property offers, whether it be scams or looting, you can be sure we will hold you accountable.
Still, there continue to be countless moments showing the best of us. Donations and other support keep rolling in, including one nonprofit sending stuffed animals to comfort the youngest ones impacted by the flames. In Pacific Palisades, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
And stay with us. We'll have a final check of your First Warn forecast after a short break.
Coming up tonight on the CBS Evening News, the ban on TikTok that could come as soon as Sunday. We'll explain the Supreme Court ruling and the national security concerns about the app. Plus, the big question, will President-elect Donald Trump intervene? That and more headlines tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Finally at 5, an unexpected light show lit up the skies after a SpaceX rocket test ended in failure. Social media was flooded with videos of shimmering streaks, and witnesses were left guessing what it was, some suggesting meteors, others calling it a possible apocalyptic event. But the real cause, SpaceX confirmed the rocket experienced what it called a rapid unscheduled disassembly.
Fancy word for it,
for an
blew up.
explosion, exactly, shortly after liftoff.
Always have those technical terms. Technical term for us is cold.
Or alert day. Yeah,
or alert
and that
day.
too, and all of those other descriptors. We've got bitterly cold air, as we were saying at the beginning of the newscast, hours away. This isn't days away anymore. Falling temperatures start tonight. Really falling temperatures through Saturday. The alert day cold really taking hold Saturday night all the way through Tuesday. In fact, we're keeping an eye out on the First Warn weather team for the possibility of minus 35 below wind chills Tuesday morning. That would be the peak of this alert day set of conditions. This is an outdated graphic, but minus 25 to minus 30 below zero wind chills expected Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then the real cold stuff would be Tuesday morning before we try to lift our way out of this deep freeze. By the time we get later into the 10-day period, if this forecast doesn't change, we might actually see temperatures going a little bit above normal for a change. And those that want snow, unfortunately, there is no snow in the forecast. At 10 o'clock, I'm going to talk a little bit about how this is actually helping our area lakes build ice.
Oh, okay, good.
All right. Alex,
There's a silver lining.
Yes. Try to find some options.
We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.